in a new construction in the Orange County Diocese. They elected to replace in the front and center of the church the Eucharist with empty chairs, and it's one of the things that is an indication of what's going on in hearts. On Good Friday and Holy Saturday, they moved the Eucharist away from the church to indicate Christ died and disappeared, and it also symbolizes the 3.5 years that's coming in which the abomination of desolation would be taking place, where they would abolish the perpetual sacrifice. And this already symbolizes that the abolishing the perpetual sacrifice is on its way, and that they move the Eucharist away from the front and center and move them off into the side chapel over there. An indication that is on Good Friday and Holy Saturday back in the 1960s, this is what they did for 2 days. They moved the Eucharist from the main altar and put them off in the side chapel on Holy Friday and Holy Saturday, indicating that Christ had died and left the earth. But on Sunday, put him back up here, indicating that Christ rose from the dead. And also, that liturgical practice is practiced today, except they move the Eucharist even further away on Holy Friday and Holy Saturday. And that liturgical practice is a prophecy as well, prophesying about the time of the abomination of desolation, in which the Eucharist would be taken away from the church entirely, in which there would be no holy sacrifice of the Mass for 42 months in many locations. Today, the Eucharist is always moved away from the front and center, moved to the side chapel, indicating that the Good Friday, Holy Saturday event of 3.5 years, the time of the apocalypse, is approaching, and that apocalyptic time is practically here. Now the liturgical practice has become the norm and is indicating to us that soon the perpetual sacrifice will be abolished in many locations, but also abolished in many hearts. It had been abolished in many hearts by what people do with their lives after receiving Holy Communion and before receiving Holy Communion as well. But in Russia, things are going in the opposite direction. There's a greater reverence to the perpetual sacrifice. In fact, while treaties were breaking elsewhere, and while rebellion is working its way elsewhere to abolish the perpetual sacrifice, Russia's shepherds will be gathering, reverencing the perpetual sacrifice. It says, while nation after nation will decline themselves, for having erected the disastrous abomination in the most holy place. The symbol of the most holy place is in the front and center of the church. But in the front and center of the church is not the Eucharist anymore, but just chairs. The abomination of desolation, meaning that instead of the most holy God is an empty space. And so, going back to the December 13th, 1993 message of True Life in God says, while nation after nation will decline themselves, having erected the disastrous abomination in the most holy place, Russia's shepherds will be gathering to restore her altars, reverencing the perpetual sacrifice. And so this is a prophetic word about Russia, which seems to already start to happen. A sign of this is that the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, has made homosexuality illegal and outlawed it, whereas in America, they promote it. Another sign of that is that Patriarch Kirill of Moscow and all Russia is on the rise. Patriarch Kirill of Moscow and all Russia and Patriarch Gregorio Francis of Rome and all Christians have met together at least one time now regarding having the East and the West meet, in which they will unify the church by unifying the dates of Easter.